Hello and welcome back to the North Country Outdoor Channel. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I need to take a minute and explain something. See, 3 months ago, I did a video. I was making a video driving my vehicle like I oftentimes do when I suddenly got pulled over. I kept the camera rolling, and I'm a concealed carrier, so obviously that's a controversial thing with people and police, and I just kind of want to see how the stop went. So I posted that video. I will link it in the description. This is going to be part 2, and it was labeled "Concealed Carry Stopped by Police." And the reason that I'm making this part 2 is because it was 3 months ago that took place. And since then, in the past 2 weeks, that video has really blown up. For a channel of my size that has less than 500 subscribers, which, by the way, hit the subscribe button, I would appreciate it. And it has like 27,000 views as of this morning. Yesterday it had like 22,000, so it's climbing in views. So I'm getting a lot of comments. I mean, it's not viral by any means. I'm not trying to say that it is. I'm just saying that I'm getting a lot of comments, and my phone's blowing up, which is great. I love interacting with people that are subscribers and commenters. But I feel like I need to address a couple things. And the first thing is the overwhelming majority of the comments are negative, which really surprised me. And of course, people are going to critique everything you do. One thing that people commented on, and you'll have to go watch the video, is I did not notify that officer right away that I was carrying a firearm. I thought I did, and then I went back and I rewatched the video, and that would be correct. I did not tell him right away. And I think why that is because he came up to the window and he immediately started talking and immediately started asking me questions about why I was videotaping and this and that. And I didn't want to cut him off and be disrespectful. Should I have? Yes, I should have. Probably should have. But what I always do, and it works out for me, is when I hand him my driver's license, I also hand him my concealed pistol license and say I am a concealed carrier. Either I do or I do not have a weapon on me, and I tell him the location of that weapon. Whether it's on my ankle, my hip, in the center console, I tell him the location. And I've never had a problem. But one thing you have to understand is where I'm at. I'm in northern Michigan. There's crime up here, but there's not a lot of gangs. There's not a lot of shootings. Cops are chill up here. And I have a cop friend that's a cop in Las Vegas. And there's a lot of officer involved shootings there. In fact, I've seen several in the past week. And he likes concealed carriers. I mean, those are good guys. They're people that are on the cop's side, that has the cop's back. And one thing that you have to understand is, if I was a bad guy, I would not be telling that cop that I had a weapon, that I had a concealed pistol license. First of all, you're probably not going to have a concealed pistol license if you're a bad guy. Just saying. So you're definitely not going to notify that officer. So whether you notify him right away, which you're supposed to do, I know, or you notify them at the time of handing them your license, they just appreciate the fact that you notified them. So, we can squash that beef right now that, I didn't tell him right away, oh my God, you're lucky you didn't get shot. No, I wasn't. I didn't reach for no gun. I reached across to get my paperwork, and I actually, the way I interact with police officers is, I come across like their friend. And that leads me to my next point. There was people that made fun of me, and one guy called it cop sucking, which I thought was kind of funny. And then another person was making cracks at me for mentioning my Blue Lives Matter pin. I support law enforcement 100%. I have law enforcement's back 100%. If there was a situation where law enforcement needed my help, yes, I would help them. I really appreciate all the cops and military, and I appreciate all their service. I just do. This country, we criticize police officers way too much. And, you can get on YouTube and look at officer-involved shootings, and it's really easy to think that the officer's at fault until you watch more video and you get the security camera from the Taco Bell, and you get another officer's perspective, and then you get the squad car on the dash camera's perspective. At first glance, a lot of times, like, holy shit, that cop just shot somebody, and that cop should be, indicted. And sometimes there's no other angles, and it makes that cop look terrible, and that's just not the way that it is. I mean, yes, there's bad eggs out there, there's bad eggs everywhere, but what I'm trying to say is you got to put all the facts together before you start making bold statements. And if I'm gonna bring up that I have a buddy that's a cop, and I'm gonna try to make conversation with that cop, because I made conversation with him about Glock pistols. I interacted with that cop, and he told me that my gun Glock was a good choice, and that he wanted to get a 10mm Glock for a woods gun. So what if I made conversation with him? That's what I do. I've been pulled over several times, and I've not gotten tickets because cops are people too, and I make conversation wherever I can, and I try to find common ground. And so, yes, I conversated about a Glock. Yes, I mentioned that I have a friend that's a cop in Las Vegas. Yes, I mentioned my Blue Lives Matter pin. You know what? If you want to be mad at me for figuring out a way to not get a ticket, you're a freaking idiot, because that's what it's all about. I don't want to pay the ticket. Would you have rather seen me get a ticket for running a yellow light and then have to pay it? I mean, are you going to pay it for me? I don't think so. So basically, I did what I felt I had to do to get out from underneath a ticket. I ran what he called a red light, which that's controversial, but whatever. I ran a red light, and I did not have my seatbelt on, and I didn't have proof of insurance, and I didn't get a ticket. Why? Because I'm not a hoodlum. I'm not a hooligan. I didn't treat him with any disrespect, which leads me to my next point. And my next point is, people forgive me. I am not racist in any way possible, but there's a lot of comments on this video that say basically white privilege. You're white bread, that's why you didn't get shot. You're white, must be nice to have all that white privilege, must be nice to be white. If you were black, blah blah blah. Here's the thing, I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're Indian, I don't care if you're Hispanic, I don't care if you're white, I don't care what you are. If you're a hooligan, you're going to get treated like a hooligan. Bottom line, that's the way it is. And what I hate is I'm going to try my best to not make racial judgments towards certain people and ethnicities, because I'm going to tell you something right now. There's a lot of white hooligans too. There really is. There's a lot of white people in gangs. It's just, just because you're white, it doesn't matter. It's all about how you act. And those people that act like hooligans, they have it coming. They think they're above the law. They think that they're better than the law, and they're porch monkeys, and they're out there on their porch, and they got their guns in their waistband. They don't even have permits, and they're yelling and screaming and racial slurs and all this other stuff at the cops. And those people are hooligans. Notice I said those people. I don't care what color you are. And that's the problem. There's a race war in this country that has nothing to do with race. It's ridiculous. So you want to tell me that I didn't get shot in that video because I'm white? Complete bullshit. Complete nonsense. I treated that officer with respect. I treated him with dignity, and I thanked him for his service, and I found common ground with him, and I got out of that stop without a ticket. You know what? Hate me because you ain't. Jealousy is a bitch, and I think that's what's going on, because you guys just want to see me get a ticket, see me get arrested, see me get shot. That's just not the way it is. That was a perfect example of how to interact with an officer when you're concealed carrying a firearm during a traffic stop. Anyways, that's all I have to say. This is part 2, kind of the afterthoughts. I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, support what we're doing here. I would appreciate it. And just remember, tomorrow's a new day. Be creative and own it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you next time.